In a move that has sent shockwaves through the international community, North Korea has committed military personnel to support Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. While exact numbers remain shrouded in secrecy, Western intelligence estimates suggest a force of up to 50,000 troops has been deployed. These soldiers, primarily drawn from artillery and engineering units, are reportedly seasoned veterans of North Korea's own arduous training regimes. The decision to directly intervene in the conflict marks a significant escalation by Pyongyang. It underscores the increasingly global dimensions of the war, pulling in actors far beyond Eastern Europe. This development has sparked widespread condemnation and fueled anxieties about a wider conflagration. The North Korean troops bring with them a reputation for ruthlessness and unwavering obedience to their commanders. Their presence on the battlefield raises the specter of intensified violence and a hardening of Russia's resolve. The world watches with bated breath as these soldiers are integrated into the Russian war machine. The response from both Washington and Seoul has been swift and unambiguous: alarm. The Biden administration has condemned the deployment as a dangerous and destabilizing act. US officials have warned of further sanctions against both Russia and North Korea, aiming to cripple their ability to sustain the war effort. South Korea, which shares a heavily fortified border with the North, views the development with particular trepidation. The deployment has fueled fears in Seoul that Pyongyang could exploit any distraction on the world stage to advance its own military ambitions in the Korean peninsula. Joint military exercises between South Korea and the US have been ramped up as a show of force and deterrence. The situation has also put Japan on high alert. Tokyo worries that North Korea's willingness to engage in overseas conflicts could embolden its military adventurism closer to home. The spectre of a nuclear-armed North Korea operating with impunity has cast a long shadow over regional security calculations. The deployment of North Korean troops to Ukraine is the most overt manifestation of a burgeoning strategic partnership between Russia and North Korea. This alliance, cemented by a mutual defense pact signed in June 2024, reflects a convergence of interests between two heavily sanctioned and isolated states. For Russia, desperate for manpower and material support as the war in Ukraine drags on, North Korea offers a lifeline. Pyongyang's willingness to supply artillery shells, rockets, and even manpower provides a much-needed respite for a Russian military that has been depleted by months of grinding warfare. North Korea, in turn, sees an opportunity to break out of its diplomatic isolation and secure much-needed economic aid and military technology. The cash-strapped regime in Pyongyang welcomes the hard currency that Russia is offering in exchange for its support. Section 4. A dangerous game: technology transfer and regional instability. While the immediate focus is on the impact of North Korean troops on the battlefield in Ukraine, experts warn of a more insidious threat: the potential for a reverse technology transfer from Russia to North Korea. There are growing concerns that Moscow, desperate to keep its war machine running, could be tempted to offer Pyongyang access to advanced weaponry or dual-use technologies in exchange for continued support. Such a scenario could have profound implications for regional security, particularly for South Korea and Japan, both of which are within range of North Korea's missile arsenal. The potential acquisition of advanced missile technology, or even components for weapons of mass destruction by North Korea, would be a game-changer in Northeast Asia. It would dramatically alter the military balance and could trigger a regional arms race, further destabilizing an already volatile region. Section 5. Shifting sands: global power dynamics in flux. The deployment of North Korean troops to Ukraine has implications that extend far beyond the battlefields of Eastern Europe. It underscores the emergence of a new geopolitical reality, one characterized by shifting alliances and a growing challenge to the US-led global order. The conflict has exposed the limitations of Western power and emboldened those who seek to challenge the existing international system. Russia and China, united by their shared antipathy towards the West, are increasingly coordinating their actions on the world stage. Their growing assertiveness, coupled with North Korea's willingness to act as a spoiler, has injected a dangerous new dynamic into global affairs. The conflict has also highlighted the deep divisions within the international community. The inability of the United Nations Security Council to act decisively due to vetoes by Russia and China has eroded faith in the organization's ability to effectively address global crises. Section 6. The path forward, averting chaos through diplomacy. In the face of this escalating crisis, the need for clear-headed diplomacy and a concerted international response has never been more urgent. The risks of miscalculation and unintended escalation are alarmingly high. The consequences of a wider conflict, potentially drawing in NATO or even spilling over into Northeast Asia, are too grave to contemplate. The international community must use all available diplomatic channels to urge restraint on all sides. Sanctions alone are unlikely to deter Russia or North Korea, but they can serve as a tool to bring them to the negotiating table. Dialogue, however difficult, remains the only path to a sustainable peace. The stakes in this conflict extend far beyond the borders of Ukraine. The world is watching, anxiously awaiting signs of de-escalation and a return to dialogue. The future of global security may very well hinge on the choices made in the coming weeks and months.